This is Shirley Jackson, and I'm doing a demonstration of how to apply my mineral makeup and what it looks like. I'm going to do one half of my face so you can see the difference, and hopefully it shows up. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm taking my foundation and I just dumped a little bit into my lid, and I'm using my kabuki brush. And I take my brush and I dip it into the foundation, swirl it around real good, and then I'm going to tap it to take off any kind of excess. And by doing this, it still goes onto your face, but it doesn't get all over your clothes. All right, so here we go. Always start with the forehead. Okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this very good, but I'll make sure I take a picture of it afterwards as well. So we always start with the forehead, then I go to the eyes and to the bridge of the nose. And I'd go into kind of a circle motion. And of course I make faces while I'm doing this, so if you see me doing that, just ignore me. Okay. And then I move down to the cheekbone area and go all the way up to the hairline. Okay. And that always tickles, so if you're like me, the around the nose part, doing that area there kind of tickles. And I got a little bit too much there, so I kind of brush it off a little bit. All right, need just a little bit more. And I go all the way down. Okay, here we go. I got it covered. I know my lighting's not all that great in here, but I have psoriasis and I also have rosacea. I'm a diabetic and I have high blood pressure. So between the combination of those and a couple other medications they had me on, my face stays kind of a reddish tint. And between my psoriasis, it gets all across my forehead, goes down the bridge of my nose, and it will end up a lot of times in my got some dip my hand in some eyeshadow there, but it will go in, the psoriasis will go all the way into my eyebrows and my head, and it stays in my head quite a bit. So if I don't, when I don't wear the makeup, it shows up really, really nice, which is, you know, not the ideal thing. And so we've got our foundation down. Now, here's the trick. When you put your foundation on, along with any of the makeup that's here, what you want to do is, if it looks too light, which sometimes it will, think about it this way. When in the winter your sun gets lighter, in the summer your skin gets darker, as long as, you know, when you go outside. So if that's the case, then you what you want to do is go just a little bit darker than what you normally would. And then in the summer months, you only want to put one layer. In the winter months, you want to put more than one layer. What I mean layers is you put it all over, from your forehead, your eyes, the bridge of your nose, across here, and down in through here. And what you do is you put it on once. Then what you can do is put it on a second time, going back over, and the most I would do would be a third time. It just depends on what you're trying to go for. If you're going out for dinner for an evening look, you want to make sure that you're, you know, some people love the vibrant side or the vivid side, so they want to get, you know, they want to be real noticeable. At that point, you want to put more layers on. All right, so we've done our foundation. So the next trick is, what I'm going to do is I work from the foundation, eyes, blush, and then lipstick, and then kind of move on. I'm not going to put the lipstick on today, but I will show you the rest of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our sunset coral, sunset pearl. It used to be called. And I'm going to put a little bit of that into our lid. And I'm also going to use our what's called our suntan, our natural color, which is kind of a brownish color. And then what I'm going to do is my eyes change color. They're kind of hazel and they change, you know, green and blue and all kinds of funky things. So I'm also going to use our midnight blue, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I have a tendency to put on three different layers, three different colors rather. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to start with our blue. I'm going to tap my brush into my lid. Okay, tap it in, kind of swirl around, and then I'm going to tap it onto the side to make sure there's nothing, you know, there's nothing there that's going to cause any fluff or particles going around. And I'm going to use this almost like an eyeliner right there at the edge of the eye. Okay, and if I wanted to go darker, I also came out with a black. So for those people who really want that, you can actually add just a little bit of water into your lid, and then put your makeup in, you know, put your eyeshadow in there, and it will temporarily go on like a liner. Do not add the water into the makeup whatsoever. You don't want to contaminate it. Here's a trick. As long as you don't do anything to contaminate your makeup, this minimal makeup is all natural and it will last 10 years. So that's one of the advantages. When you buy store makeup, your liquid and all of that, it only has a 1-year shelf life. So if you're using that, if you're still using it and it's been more than 1 year, the problem is you can get what's called a contamination, cosmetic contamination. And what that means is that it's no longer any good. So what happens is it becomes contaminated, and that can actually end up into your bloodstream and cause all kinds of problems. I knew a lady that had that done, and bless her heart, they had to do a blood transfusion because her blood actually became contaminated after 20 years of doing that type of stuff. So you want to make sure that you don't do that. All right. The one thing about mineral makeup is it stays on the surface of the skin and not into the pores, so it lets your skin breathe. The other thing too is this has zinc and iron oxide into it, which means that, titanium dioxide, which means that it has a natural sunscreen into it. So here we go. We're going to apply this. And there's my tan. I'm going to put the lid back on it. I have a habit is once I use it, I always put the lid back on it, because I have been known to spill things. I'm worse than my grandkids. All right. Our last one here is our sunset. Oh, the other thing too is in between using colors, I use a paper towel and I just brush it onto that paper towel to get rid of the excess color. So that means that by doing that, I'm applying the fresh color on. I'm not applying one color into another color. So that's what gives it that really nice definition. Okay. All right. Now let's see if I can. Not sure if you could see all the colors. Like I said, I'll take a picture and then you'll be able to see it a whole lot better than this. All right, from here, what I do is I put on my blush. Now the trick is here's the thing. If you want your eyeshadow and your blush to be predominant and show up really, really nice, what you want to do is put on your foundation and then your mineral veil. If you want to kind of tone it down a little bit and you think you got it a little bit bright, which happens, you can actually put on your eyeshadow and your blush and then put on the veil, and it will tone it down and make it look more natural. So it just depends on you and what what you're trying to achieve. All right, so next is my blush, and do the same thing. Put my brush in there, tap it down. Now because I have such a high cheekbone, I'm going to go right through here to highlight my cheekbone. So I'm going to put a line going like this, and I'm going to bring it around so there highlights my cheekbone. And because now if you're like me and you have a double chin and you want to kind of hide it a little bit, bring this down here, give it a little bit of a light line. And with that on both sides, it highlights this area here, so it kind of makes that double chin kind of go away. All right. So then the next step, or the last step I should say, is actually the mineral veil. Now you have two things you can do with your mineral veil. Your mineral veil is like your final step. It helps to set the powder in, and it makes a really nice flow. But if you, during the winter, if you feel like you want kind of that suntan glow, you don't have to use a foundation. You can actually use the bronzer that we have, and it will give you that bronze look, and then you can add on the rest of the makeup, but leave off the veil. You can apply it, but you don't have to. Okay. Now, with the veil, I just use a regular brush. With my foundation, I use the Kabuki brush. Okay. And what that does is with the Kabuki brush, it just really gets in there and really gets deep into the skin. Where my other brushes goes more toward the surface. So we're going to start like we did before. I'm going to bypass the eyeshadow, so I'm going to leave that alone. Okay. I know it's kind of hard to see in this video with me trying to do it by myself, but if, like I said, I'll take a picture of it so you can see it, and I'll put it up on my site and on YouTube, and I'll also put it up on Facebook. But when you take a look at it, you'll realize that all the redness is gone, and that it looks nice and natural and smooth, and it doesn't irritate. I have very sensitive skin due to all the medications I'm on. I'm not supposed to get a whole lot of sunlight because the metformin that they had me on says, do not, I burn really easy. But at the same time, they want me to get a little bit of sun, because then if I don't, then I have to take vitamin D, which I'm not real thrilled about. So, but that's basically all it takes. Once you get the hang of it, it's very, very simple. This will last all day. It's also waterproof. I can go swimming in it. I can get caught in the rain. It won't roll down my cheeks. It won't do nothing. But the easiest way to take this off is just plain soap and water. Ivory soap and some water, or something that's very mild. You do not use a deep cleanser or anything like that. It's not necessary. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll take a picture and we'll see what we get. Thank you.